What, the computer just took a pause and freaking traded donkey dick for Diddy dick? Yeah, eat your little dong, dude.
Let's have a party to celebrate his return. We can call it the Diddy Party.
I do not like Diddy Kong. I just cannot stand the little shit-eating chimp.
Wait, no! DK, that makes you an accomplice!
Diddy Kong, fuck you. Today we're throwing Diddy Kong to the other side of the road.
Diddy is now serving a life sentence because we can't use him.
I've never really been a huge fan of him. I don't even know why, I just kind of see him and shake my head disappointingly.
It's not that he's good, it's that he's just an irritating, cheeky, shit-grin nutbuster that makes any match with him a banana slammer.
A full-fledged adventure featuring all my favorite Nintendo characters and Diddy Kong.
Back to jail, Diddy!
I can't go back to jail! Diddy Kong's voice clips sound nothing like him. Like, what the hell happened?
Unfortunately, Diddy is still completely useless.
You're gonna have to change his fucking name to Carl Kong or some shit, bro.
I just find him really annoying, and it's been this way ever since I was a kid.
Diddy is so oblivious to what's going on.
Somehow, Diddy returned.
I do the entire game without using this guy, and this motherfucker ruins the fucking entire run.
But I think they should keep Diddy Kong dead and replace him.
I realized the answer was staring at me from a prison cell.
Guess it's time for a Diddy Party.
Does Diddy Kong need to exist? Oh, looks like he's not going to exist much longer.
When I was a kid, Super Mario was my absolute favorite franchise of all time, and my love for it grew over time. It all started with New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Even though I played mobile games before, this was the first video game I ever played on a console. And I'm making this a big deal because consoles and handhelds are my way to play video games. I was only 5 years old, and I first played it at my cousin's place. I played as Blue Toad, my older brother played as Luigi, and my two cousins played as Mario and Yellow Toad. They started from World 1 because they knew this was my first ever time playing a video game, which is a perfect start, and very smart of them. What's even better is that they did make a lot of progress before I played this, which means we can play multiple worlds whenever we want. I quickly learned about the characters, items, and gameplay mechanics, including the bubble system, which sparked my lifelong love for bubbles. Riding Yoshi was a highlight, and hearing the nostalgic soundtrack ignited my love for gaming music. Trust me, Mario soundtracks are always fantastic to listen to. We explored World 2, battled some of the Koopalings, and my cousins played the final boss in credits, though I wasn't ready to play that level myself. To this day, New Super Mario Bros. Wii remains one of my favorite games of all time for introducing me to console gaming, Nintendo, and the Mario franchise itself. Without this game, my YouTube channel might not exist, and even my childhood would have been completely different. The second game I ever played was Mario Kart Wii, an incredible follow-up to the franchise. I'll discuss this game later though, for very good reasons. Then came Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which expanded my gaming knowledge beyond Nintendo. I discovered franchises I had never heard of before, like Kirby, Fire Emblem, and Star Fox. My cousins and I played free-for-all matches endlessly, and I was unaware of its other modes, because at the time, I didn't care. I was just having so much fun. For years, Brawl was my favorite Smash game, until a certain other entry in this series surpassed it. Before owning any console, I played countless Mario Flash games online. And then a game-changing moment arrived. We finally got a Wii, my first ever gaming console to own. Even better, it came bundled with the Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack CD and New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Man, it feels great to be lucky sometimes. And things just kept getting better. We got Mario Kart Wii with the Wii Wheel accessory. The game was just as incredible as I remembered, if not even better, especially when I got more nostalgic with this game. And luckily, I still have it to relive the good times. Over time, I added more Wii games to my library, like Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Wii Party, Rock Band 3, and Just Dance 4, alongside a ton of Mario games across various consoles from different houses. Highlights include Mario Kart DS, Mario Party DS, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games for the Wii, Super Paper Mario, New Super Mario Bros., Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again, sadly not much of the Minis, which is a way better game, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, and Mario Super Sluggers. And of course, during my nostalgic life, I spent countless hours watching Mario gameplay videos on YouTube, which introduced me to even more games I hadn't played yet, and some of them I still haven't played, but hopefully I will. By the end of 2013, Christmas Eve brought us some fantastic gifts. Christmas Eve brought Kirby's Epic Yarn, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and Super Mario Galaxy. The first game we played was Galaxy, which happened happened on the same night as Christmas Eve, and it was perfectly magical. Then there was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. We finally discovered Subspace Emissary. All I just said still happened in the end of 2013, so it took me 2 years to finally see this story mode after I first played the game. But to this day, Subspace Emissary is still one of my favorite things in video game history, and that's how I became a die-hard Mario fan. This franchise has everything that you want for your childhood and your life in general. Unforgettable games, timeless music, underrated animations, with the character designs included, and the Mario cast itself. Look at most of these peak legends. But there's one character who has stood above the rest for me ever since I first discovered him. One who has made me happy most of all, and inspired me to never give up on the fictional characters I love. Diddy Kong. He's the ultimate highlight of my childhood, and the main reason my love for this franchise is so strong. Now you might wonder why I call Diddy the best Mario character instead of just the best Donkey Kong character. Well, ever since I was a kid, I've seen Mario and Donkey Kong as part of the same franchise. They share similar animation styles, gameplay ideas, and even appear in each other's games. Plus, Donkey and Diddy were in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. To me, Super Mario feels like the best title to represent it all. So yes, I count Donkey Kong Country as a Mario game. Another thing you might be asking is why I suddenly rekindled my Mario obsession. Well, in the summer of 2024, I made a wish list of games I wanted. While searching for games, watching collection videos, and reminiscing about my childhood, and my love for Diddy Kong came rushing back. From 2011 to June 2015, he was my absolute favorite. So what sparked this video? That wish list, game collection videos, and a video discussing how Diddy Kong's heroism has been forgotten, even with its flaws.
So much of his body language is devoted to being monkey-like.
The video was done very well, and now here we are.
Grab some snacks, plushies, whatever keeps you entertained. And if you love Diddy Kong, then please like this video and subscribe, because you Diddy Kong fans are awesome. I'm Ali's Cartoon Odyssey, and this is why Diddy Kong is my favorite character of all time.
Mario Kart Wii is one of my favorite games ever. It was my biggest childhood gaming experience besides the character we're talking about today, and everything about it was perfect. The catchy music, the chaotic yet fun tracks, the memorable characters, the expressive animations, and the peak gameplay that made every race an absolute blast. It remains a masterpiece in my eyes, and is my second favorite game that was ever created, right up there with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
But the real reason I bring up Mario Kart Wii, it introduced me to Diddy Kong.
I first played it at my cousin's house, where they had every character unlocked. At the time, I barely knew anyone outside the usual Mario characters, so this game introduced me to Donkey Kong, Wario, Waluigi, Birdo, Toadette, Funky Kong. I didn't even know who Daisy and Rosalina were, which is crazy. I slowly learned about them just by playing the game at 2 places, of course. Then came the moment that changed everything. I saw Diddy Kong on the character select screen, and his design instantly stood out to me. He had this fun, adventurous look with his red Nintendo cap and matching red shirt, his adorable face, his expressive pose, and his super energetic vibe. I was drawn to him immediately and had to play as him. Waluigi Stadium was my first track, and from the moment I raced as Diddy, I was hooked. His movements, voice clips, lively animations, everything about him was perfect for me. I loved everything about him during that race, and the best part is that I won!
Diddy wasn't just fun to play, he was my character. He was more than just another Mario character to me. He was my absolute favorite.
Then came Super Smash Bros. Brawl. After loving Diddy in Mario Kart Wii, I was hyped to play as him in a fighting game. The moment I picked him, I felt his speed, agility, and acrobatics. His unique moveset from the peanut pop gun to the monkey flip made him insanely fun. And then there was Subspace Emissary, where Diddy had some of the best moments in the game, but I'll save that for later. I also played Mario Party DS. Even though Diddy wasn't a playable character, seeing him in the first cutscene made me so excited. Just that one little moment of seeing him pop up was enough to make me excited. But back then, that was the only time I got to see him in the game. I sadly didn't unlock his part of the story, which was DK's stone statue, and it actually took me 9 years before I finally saw his part of the story, and even the ending. Around that time, I watched my cousin play Donkey Kong Country Returns, which looked amazing, but I regret not playing it myself because it's now one of my favorite games. I also saw Diddy in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and later played as him in Mario Super Sluggers, where he was just as energetic and fun. Even though baseball wasn't my favorite sport, Diddy made it way more enjoyable. Unfortunately, I never played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze when it released, despite owning a Wii U. I watched tons of videos though, and it might be one of the best looking Mario related games ever. That's one of my biggest gaming regrets, especially since Diddy plays such a big role and it has some of the cutest renders in the Mario franchise. That sadly wraps up my childhood memories with Diddy Kong. Of course, I kept playing games with him like Smash 3DS and Wii U, Ultimate, Mario Party Star Rush, and even Diddy Kong Racing. But when I think of my golden era, 2011 to June 2015 are the early experiences that stand out the most.
And now that you know how Diddy became such a big part of my childhood, get ready because I'm about to dive even deeper into why I love him so much.
Diddy Kong is number 1 in every positive list I can make. He has the best voice of all time, and it's one of my favorite things about him. It's fun, unique, and full of personality. Whether he's laughing, shouting, or just making silly noises, his voice shows how he feels and makes him even cuter. When he's excited, scared, or frustrated, you feel it.
Every voice actor has done a fantastic job bringing him to life, and here's my ranking on all of them from worst to best.
Number 6, his voice in Diddy Kong Racing DS. While I love all his voices, this one feels the least like Diddy.
Oh. Hi, I'm Diddy.
They should have just reused Chris Sutherland's clips instead, which means his voice here should never have happened. Number 5, Mark Betteridge, the first person to give Diddy a voice. It's made by high-pitching Donkey Kong's voice. His voice was cute and fitting for the early Donkey Kong Country games. Number 4, Chris Sutherland. He voiced him from Diddy Kong Racing to Mario Kart Double Dash, and is sometimes reused in a few other Mario games after. He was a great match for Diddy in the older games.
Come on.
And even though he might sound a bit like Mickey Mouse, it still fits his character. Number 3, Eric Bauza. The same guy that voices half of the Looney Tunes cast, especially Marvin the Martian, who was my old favorite for a few years, is the same guy who voiced Diddy in the Mario movie. How did he do voicing him?
That means you, Diddy Kong!
Sorry.
I swear, what is it with Eric having the best roles in any media? He absolutely nailed it here the best.
Number 2, this is a hot take, but it's his voice in the Super Smash Bros. Games. To me, the monkey sounds fit his character really well. Diddy Kong is a monkey, and at least he still acts like himself, and his Subspace Emissary moments made me love his voice even more. Seriously, look at his design and listen to his voice clips. And it's one of the reasons why I love watching all of his scenes. And number 1 is Katsumi Suzuki.
This man was the voice in my childhood.
From Mario Power Tennis to Mario Kart Wii, Mario Party Star Rush to Mario Strikers Battle League, he always brought Diddy Kong to life in the most amazing way. His expressive and realistic voice of Diddy always made me laugh. Even when Diddy's sad, Katsumi's delivery makes me feel for him.
Come on!
Katsumi was the first Diddy Kong voice I ever heard, which makes Diddy's voice nostalgic, charming, and one of a kind which easily fits. Even his high-pitched edited voice in the modern country game still sounds adorable. Katsumi is the reason Diddy Kong is the most energetic, expressive, and downright cartoonish Mario character. More than Waluigi and Bowser, he'll always be my favorite voice actor, and no other famous actor could capture Diddy's magic like he does.
Diddy's voice overall is perfect. He brings energy, personality, and emotion to his actions. Whether you're a longtime fan or just discovering him, Diddy Kong's voice is a big part of what makes him such a great character.
And of course, his design is the best of all time. You all bet I was going to say that. His design is fire, and here's why. His red shirt with stars is bright, sporty, and fits his adventurous side. It sets him apart from other Kongs. His tail is another awesome feature, and it adds to his playful moves, like swinging and grabbing objects. And his belly button, it's great. It adds realism and extra cuteness. And honestly, he's a chubby little monkey, which makes him even more adorable. His Nintendo hat is one of my favorite parts. It makes him look even sportier and adventurous, and it always makes me smile when it's highlighted. But my absolute favorite thing about his design is his face. Diddy was made to be the most expressive Mario character, with big cartoony eyes that sometimes blank with just the pupils. His eyes even look more realistic than most characters with their reflective shine. And even though starting from Diddy Kong Racing has been part of his design, there's still light reflecting his big eyes in Returns and Tropical Freeze. He's also the cutest character that I've ever seen, even cuter than Yoshi and Marvin the Martian. He's basically a mini Donkey Kong, but even more snuggly and heart-melting. His little muzzle, basically his entire look, his emotions, and every animation he has make me want to hug him every time. Just like his blush, that's just as adorable as his game look.
And then his renders, absolutely incredible.
My favorites? Smash Bros, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Mario Super Sluggers, including the thumbs up pose, Mario and Sonic, Tropical Freeze, and especially Mario Party DS. That DS render is iconic. Him tipping his hat and his other hand on his hip with the biggest smile. It stuck with me ever since I was 6. I always love how sometimes Diddy stands upright, other times he crouches like a real monkey. Whatever he feels like doing, it always looks right. And his 3D models, besides the one from the Mario Kart Arcade GP games, which look nothing like how he's supposed to be, he always looks adorable across every game, style, and graphic quality. Remember, every time I say all his models are the best looking, I'm always gonna ignore the GP one. But console or handheld, realistic or cartoony, Diddy's models are always the cutest and best looking.
And what do I think of the Switch 2 redesign? It's obviously the best redesign out of all of them. But guys, it's not an improvement compared to the original. The original will always be better to me.
Yeah, besides Boo and King Boo, none of these redesigns are better than their originals. They look way too cartoony that it doesn't feel like they're evolving anymore, when every other console before tried to make these designs look more realistic. So yeah, the Switch is the most serious and realistic looking era. I mean, it does have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. At least they didn't destroy Diddy Kong's design, because he's still the best looking. They kept everything I love about his design, with the only change being his hat. It doesn't have the Nintendo logo anymore, and instead has a Diddy Kong symbol. I don't blame him for changing his hat, not only because it's his decision, which I'm perfectly fine with, but this is to show that he's not a fan of Nintendo anymore, since they basically treat him like crap, especially in Super Mario Party Jamboree. This is the main reason why I shouldn't care about Nintendo for the rest of my life. Even Diddy doesn't care about them. Like I said, I love every single Diddy Kong model and render. Seriously, I can't stop thinking about his Mario Party DS render. It will always be my favorite.
He's already the best just by looking at him and hearing his voice, and we haven't even talked about his personality yet.
Diddy Kong is also special to me. I won't tell you everything I love about him because we'd be here for more than an hour, but I'm going to highlight the most important reasons why he deserves more love in the Mario fanbase and the franchise as a whole. I already talked about his fire design and voice. Now it's time to go into his unique personality, his growth, and his animation across his games.
Now, in my opinion, Diddy Kong is just as strong as Mario and Donkey Kong. Now, I know you'll all disagree right off the bat, but throughout this story, I can explain it all. Let's start with his first appearance in Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo.
One dog and stormy night, Diddy was put on banana horde duty for his hero training. Then the Kremlins arrived. He fearlessly tried to protect the bananas and even took out 2 Kremlins with his cartwheel attack, before Clump knocked him out and stuffed him in a barrel. I adore that he didn't hesitate. He acted like the hero he wanted to be. Even though he failed, his courage stands out. He's the kind of brave, loyal friend who would fight anyone who messes with what he cares about. After Donkey frees him, they journey together to recover the banana horde. Diddy may be young, but he chooses to go on this dangerous journey, providing how determined and heroic he really is. And while Donkey Kong is the lead, Diddy gets equal attention and evolves from a wannabe sidekick into a real hero. And what's even better is that this entire big adventure with Donkey is part of his arc, where he tries to be a hero just like Donkey Kong. Even though Donkey Kong is also the main character, it's the best when Diddy gets just as much focus by being a true hero in his own right.
I especially love that he still supports Donkey even after his mistake, who he was oversleeping, and that's what got Diddy trapped in the first place. It really shows how good-hearted Diddy is. Even after Donkey's flaws, he still wants to help him anyway.
While Diddy isn't as strong as Donkey in this game, he's much smarter and more agile. His cartwheel attack allows him to take out enemies, chain momentum in the air, and make risky platforming easier. He's quick, jumps higher, and has more versatile movement, kind of like Luigi, but even better. He can even hold barrels in front of him to protect himself like a shield or to rescue Donkey, making him helpful in more strategic ways. He's also great in water levels and even loves swimming, just like me. Because of that, I found those stages easier and more enjoyable when I play as Diddy.
Throughout this part, I'm gonna keep mentioning how Diddy Kong and I have so much in common and how we're very relatable.
When Donkey gets knocked out, Diddy can clear levels like Minecart Carnage, Snow Barrel Blast, and Stop and Go Station all on his own. He even defeated King K. Rool in the end. He proved to Donkey Kong that he is considered a hero just like him, and he earned everyone's respect. But Diddy's conquest is where he really levels up. Donkey Kong gets captured by K. Rool. Then after Diddy was having fun with his girlfriend Dixie, they saw the note that K. Rool left saying that if he wants Donkey Kong back, he'll have to hand over the banana horde. And Diddy immediately knows the deal's a trick. So he refuses the offer and wants to rescue Donkey instead, proving how smart he really is.
Why can't we have more smart characters like him?
Cranky, Funky, and Wrinkly all say no to helping, and Cranky even insults Diddy. You've only been in one game, and you didn't even get your name in the title. That makes Diddy discouraged. He was scared that he wasn't as strong as Donkey Kong because he only completed one adventure, and the adventure here was too dangerous that it could kill him. And Diddy's right! Look at how dangerous this adventure is! Then Dixie stands up for him and tells Cranky to shut up because Diddy's much better than him. You go, girl! Dixie wants to come with him, and tells Diddy that if he's going, she's going. And if Diddy saves his big buddy and collects all the hero coins, he's considered the #1 video game hero. Do you see why I hate Nintendo so much? So Diddy accepts her words, and he'll save his big buddy no matter how dangerous the adventure is. Wrinkly was very proud of him already, and Funky gave him a high five.
Yeah, this duo rocks too.
So together, Diddy and Dixie form the second best duo ever made. You can choose to either play as Diddy or Dixie. Diddy. But just like the first game, you can try playing as Diddy the whole way through, and the adventure is harder this time. Diddy survives lava rides, deadly brambles, roller coasters, sticky honey, finishing ropes, and strong winds. He and Dixie transform into animal buddies to get through brutal stages like Toxic Tower and Animal Antics. He defeats bosses like Cudgel, Cleaver, who is a literal sword, and finally King K. Rool again, whom he calls himself Captain K. Rool in this game. This time by destroying his blunderbuss and causing Crocodile Isle to sink. Yes, Donkey Kong frees himself and lands the final punch, but Diddy does everything else before, and actually defeats him the second time he's defeated. He completes the whole adventure with Dixie all by himself, who chose to come with him because she believed in him. And again, he proved how much of a great friend and a great hero he is to everyone.
What I also adore about these two together is that they use their unique abilities, Diddy's speed and Dixie's gliding, and you can change levels to make it easier.
They can also piggyback and throw each other to reach items or different places. I especially love when Dixie's riding on Diddy's back. What's even more amazing is how much fun they're having. The renders show them enjoying the adventure, smiling in different stages, even though this island is way more dangerous than DK Island. That attitude shows how much stronger and braver Diddy has become. He also looks even cooler in this game, thanks to the more detailed and awesome 3D renders, which was the main reason he looks so detailed and radical the rest of the games after.
Now, we'll credit Donkey Kong and Dixie Kong later, don't you worry, but Diddy Kong's still the main focus here.
This is the main reason Diddy's Conquest is my favorite out of all the country games. While the first game gave him a hero training arc to show how much of an amazing hero he is, this game shows how much of a strong and powerful hero he is by saving his best friend who helped him be the hero he wanted to be. And since he can't be there to keep helping him out, he has to take care of himself and save him with Dixie coming along with him. Oh, and guess what? Every time Diddy completes a stage, he starts rapping!
Diddy Kong's the best that no one ever was.
And he becomes the main hero again in Diddy Kong Racing. The story gives Diddy another strong heroic motivation. He helps Timber and the others to protect their island from Wizpig. Diddy isn't even from the island, but when Timber asks for help, he immediately runs in to save the day and travels there with Banjo and Conker. That's loyalty and courage we're talking about. We got from him saving a friend to saving an entire island that has 7 friends. Also, the duo between him and Banjo is also top 10 material. And it was amazing that he showed up in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Diddy drives in a car, hovercraft, and plane while saving the island, which gives us more of a variety to him. In fact, we know he built these vehicles in one of the renders, so he's also an engineer. But here's the real kicker. In a game filled with brand new characters like Banjo and Conker, Diddy is the one leading all of them. He unites the team, he drives the story, and when you finally take the fight to Wizpig in those intense boss races, it's Diddy at the front of the line, taking on a villain 10 times his size, and still wins in the end. That's not sidekick behavior, that's legend status. And again, he saved an entire island! In Donkey Kong 64, he's the first Kong you rescue. The moment he's freed, he's already talking about kicking butt and helping Donkey Kong just like the first game. Since this is a 3D adventure platforming game, he could do more attacks than he previously did, and the people at Rare generally cared. He can perform backflips and spin with his tail. He kicks a bomb like a soccer ball, and I'm surprised it didn't blow up. He has Simian Spring, which he can perform a high jump. Chimpy Charge, where he charges at switches and destroys walls with his head. He got the classic peanut pop guns to shoot enemies, switches, and balloons. A jetpack that lets him fly anywhere and makes it easier to shoot targets and reach higher areas. And a Guitar Gazump that he rocks so hard he knocks out enemies with it. Why didn't we get Guitar Hero plus Diddy Kong is besides me. And because of all this, he fought K. Rool at a boxing arena and defeated him again. It's obvious that Diddy's not trying to be cool. He just is.
And now we get to one of the most important things that make Diddy Kong very special to me. The Mario spin-offs.
Oh my god. Most of these spin-offs are a tie golden age for this character. Actually, sometimes he's gotten better in these games from what we saw before. Diddy Kong's presence in the Mario spin-offs is a testament to his versatility as a character. In games like Mario Kart and Mario Party, he stands out as a lively and spirited monkey, and he still keeps his agility and quick thinking. Since he could do a lot more now, his playful nature allows him to thrive in these competitive environments, contributing to the fun atmosphere that defines the Mario franchise, which makes him the most expressive. As he speeds through tracks in Mario Kart, the sporty looking monkey playing sports with his friends, floating in a bubble in Mario Party, and this is why I think he's the cutest thing. Going through the challenges in the mini games that are also from Mario Party, competing in the Olympics. I hate that it's just one event, but he made it to the Olympics and becomes a doctor. This is what I'm talking about. This has given him more of a variety. Beyond just gameplay mechanics, Diddy serves as a bridge between the Donkey Kong and Mario worlds. He finally gets to interact with the other characters like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Daisy, etc. etc. Heck, some of them actually loved and appreciated him, and he loved them back because he tried to be himself. And he's just that nice and that good of a team player. He teamed up with Kobe Trouble saving the tennis stadium in Mario Power Tennis. He went golfing and cheered for Donkey Kong in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. He was happy to see Mario for coming to play baseball in Mario Superstar Baseball. He helps Donkey Kong and everyone by guarding a bridge switch from the enemies while everyone else looks for the pieces and the stone tablet that comes with the bridge. And cheered with everyone for Mario for defeating Bowser in Mario Super Sluggers. He gave a blue sky crystal to the Mario cast as a reward for saving Donkey Kong, who was turned into a statue. And oh my god, why didn't I see this emotional part during my childhood? He also eats loads of food with Donkey Kong in the same game, and oh my god, he's literally me! Which then being full was the last thing we saw in the story mode, and it's perfect. Again, I wish I had seen this part during my childhood! And why did Donkey Kong save him from a ginormous barrel in Mario Super Sluggers? Because he tried to be himself and heroic. Even though he's more playful than others, he's definitely very honest towards everyone around him. And even when he loses and rages, he still tries to be nice and supportive to all his friends.
These appearances further enhance his character, displaying his adaptability and readiness to tackle new challenges alongside iconic characters.
And his animations are so memorable, and they always put a big smile on my face. Not only because they're very entertaining, but they make Diddy Kong in character and consistent. Some of them show off his expressive personality, some of them show off his peak comedy, some of them show off his fantastic tricks, some of them show off his attacks, some of them show off his anger. Those clips are me when I lose any game. And some of them show off his seriousness. I adore every single one of these animations. He will never stop being funny, and I love that. He becomes very relatable in the same situation we are. He shows how prepared and strong he is to win. He makes poses and celebrates with others because he's very nice and friendly. He dances because of how much fun he's having, just like how I am having fun talking about this character. And he even chances to score a soccer ball. He's chanting to win a soccer tournament!
I know that everyone playing in the spin-offs is a positive for most of them, but Diddy always has the best animations, and the most creative too. But also explain in the end of the video about why him being playable in the spin-offs is more important than everyone else, so don't you worry.
But the spin-offs were the start of my introduction to Diddy Kong, and I can't stop playing as him because he's just that fun to play as. Most of my favorite games are the spin-offs, and they deserve to be this high for making Diddy Kong very nostalgic and for making him just as peak as he's always been. I also want to bring up that he's easily the funniest and best thing about the Mario movie, which is definitely my favorite movie, and his relationship with Dixie there was great. Diddy Kong's personality truly shines in the Super Smash Bros. Series. A standout feature that he still has is his peanut pop gun, and not only does he still shoot peanuts at opponents, but he even explodes his gun so the others who get too close could gain damage. He also still has his rocket barrel to blast high in the air, and his iconic shield banana move showcases his mischievous side, tripping foes just to attack them a lot faster. I also want to give a shout out to Tweak, who has done an incredible job showcasing Diddy Kong's true strength and competitive play. Many players keep saying that he's been nerfed, which to me is mistreating Diddy Kong. I never found him nerfed or downgraded at all because before I saw all this crap, I actually played as him in every Smash Bros game and didn't have any trouble with him. Heck, I managed to beat a few level 9 CPUs playing as him, and I won all of those battles! And Tweak has proven that with skill and strategy, Diddy can compete at the highest levels. His gameplay highlights Diddy's agility and unique moves, demonstrating just how effective and formidable he can be in battles. Seriously, just watch his wins and you'll finally understand why he's one of the greatest, like I keep saying. And I'm truly thankful for Tweak's dedication to this character.
Like I said, Diddy Kong fans are awesome.
In Tropical Freeze, he has never lost a step. He may not be in the spotlight as the main character, but every time he jumps on Donkey's back, they're both in this together like the old times. But now he's balancing on Donkey, who's rolling incredibly fast, and he can even pick him up to fly over dangerous obstacles.
Are you starting to see why I said he's just as strong as Mario?
In hard mode, he can travel by himself like in the first two games, though this time there's an option in hard mode where you can only play as Diddy, which means you don't have to challenge yourself to do it. In a world of snowstorms and hostile takeovers, Diddy brings warmth, energy, and the soul of the old school adventures that made many people love him in the first place. His jet barrel is very useful for when he flies through dangerous obstacles and enemies. His peanut pop gun stun them so easily. His cartwheels are back again at about time too. And he's still playful and innovative in his personality. He can still beat bosses and knock them out blasting off again, especially Lord Frederick, who is stronger than King K. Rool, and once again he can travel and attack by himself. I get that most of this stuff started happening in Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze brought all this back, but I want to bring up something else when I get to that game. Also, just listen to him singing. Look at him head bopping while on a surfboard!
And just look at this box art! God, I love this franchise so much. So much.
Coming back to his friendship with Donkey Kong, I really love how much these two have in common with each other. They both are always ready for an adventure, they're both cartoonishly hilarious together, they love a lot of the same things, and they also have the same personalities. Whenever one of them is in trouble, the other saves him like in Diddy's Conquest. They also do fight and argue a few times, but I always love them for that because that is what also makes these two very fun and special. They don't fight all the time, but sometimes they do for hilarious reasons. There's no breakup, no annoyance, just comedy, and that's epic. But most of the time they get along so perfectly, and I can see that they're the best of friends. And there are two final games I want to talk about why these two are the best duo of all time. Now let's finally talk about Diddy's beautiful character in Subspace Emissary. I welcome this mode to heaven. Some Mario enemies were stealing the Cons' banana horde. Man, can't these two ever get a break with their banana horde? But gladly, they both always got this. After they defeated them and got the horde back, Bowser then shows up right behind them to blast them with a dog cannon that turns everyone into trophies. And Diddy already tries to fight, but Donkey knows something bad will happen to him. So he punches him in the air far away and sacrifices himself by getting captured as a trophy.
This is why Donkey Kong is a hero character. He basically got Diddy separated from Bowser because he was turned into a trophy, which could lead to death. That is not only very heroic, but it's also very smart of him too.
And guys, can you stop hating Donkey Kong for this? He was saving Diddy from being turned into a trophy. And once again, not only does it show how much he cares about his child friend, but he wants Diddy to be very far away from Bowser, who turned him into a trophy. Yeah, Bowser found him, but it took a long while for him to finally find him. And what do you people want Donkey to do? Just stand there? Why would he do that? If he wants to protect his friends and prove how much of a good guy he is, he would do something very smart and show his bravery. Just like Diddy Kong does. Even pushing him out of the way wouldn't get Diddy separated from Bowser. In fact, Diddy's perfectly fine and alive in the next scene.
So no, this is not hurting a kid. This is saving someone's life from the enemy.
So Diddy immediately sets out to rescue Donkey Kong by himself, like a champ. But then he finds himself at a vast lake and notices an Allween had crashed down because it had been damaged earlier. Then a Rayquaza rises up and tries finishing him off. But then Fox McCloud from Star Fox comes to save Diddy and even asks him for help to defeat Rayquaza together. He just met him, and his first interaction was about teamwork and trust, and they took down a Rayquaza! I thought I'd never see the day! Fox then leaves, but then Diddy is demanding for help and even drags him. When I first saw this a few times, this is why I think his comedy is the biggest gold. But as an adult, while I still think that definitely, this is also very emotional, because it's him showing how much he cares about his best friend. This is much more dangerous than Diddy's Conquest, because Bowser is hunting for him while he's on his adventure with Fox, and this entire adventure mode is him always being fearless to never give up on the things he loves. In fact, he's so mad at Bowser that he basically wants to shred him for what he did, and I don't blame Diddy in the slightest. The bad news is that he actually did get shot by Bowser later, but then Falco flies in to destroy the dog cannon, and after he came back to life and battled his false self with Fox and Falco, he begs Falco for help for the same reason and drags him too. I also adore that he smiles the entire time no matter what's going on. It makes him look way cuter and much funnier. This is how brave and fearless he is, to keep on going without wasting time and completing his biggest goal for the adventure. And he's the one leading the team to save Donkey. He flies with Falco in his Allween and he skydives off the ship incredibly high up to use his rocket barrel to fly. And he uses his peanut pop guns to blast off the troops off the platform Donkey's chained up to. And then he falls down to rescue Donkey Kong.
Yes!
That was so cool that even Captain Falcon thinks the same and jumps off the cliff with Olimar involved to team up with him. And they all battle the rest of the troops together, which after that has the two King Kongs celebrating their victory. Falco gives him a thumbs up, and Diddy thanks him and Fox for helping him on his journey where they go their separate ways. Now this is what I call a fire adventure. This is one of the biggest reasons why Diddy Kong deserves so much love and support. He's been getting a lot stronger lately, especially since this was the second time he had to travel to save Donkey Kong. No matter how many times he's captured, how many times he dies, and how many times he's trapped, he never wants to give up on the one who inspired him to be a hero. And he saved him once again to the very end. Let's not forget that he's tied with Fox and Lucas for defeating the most bosses in this entire story mode.
Like I said before, are you starting to see why I think Diddy Kong is just as strong as Mario and Donkey Kong? Even they didn't defeat a Rayquaza!
And a massive big credit to Fox and Falco for choosing to do this for him. They hardly knew him until that specific day, and they already liked him. Yeah, they think he's too cartoony, but they do care about him very much. I mean, Fox has been protecting Diddy this whole adventure while also wanting to fight with him. He was shocked when Diddy got blasted, and he even kept him alive by touching his trophy. And Falco allowed him to use his all-wing and gave him a thumbs up when he saved Donkey. I'm just gonna say it, Falco and especially Fox are better characters and better duos with Diddy than Banjo. Not only because of nostalgia, but come on, they have cooler designs anyway. And big credit to Captain Falcon for joining with him because of how powerful he was. Diddy still keeps his iconic personality after he saved Donkey Kong, and he's still my favorite part of this entire story mode. I will never forget how much I adore his bravery when I was a kid, and the reason why I began loving this duo. And now we have one more final game to talk about, and that's his appearance in Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Okay, this is one of those times where I'm gonna skip to the end, because I already talked about how amazing his character was during the gameplay thanks to Tropical Freeze. And I can't explain anything about the opening besides saying he's very hilarious and his angry face is relatable.
Now this game has 3 endings. The one with Donkey, the one with Diddy, and the one with both of them. Donkey's ending and the one with both of them are very similar. He punches the moon, and I'll get to that later, and it ends with Diddy saving him from falling to his death. That's my boy! But Diddy's ending is completely different, and no surprise that this one is my favorite. So just like every adventure he's been in, he's in the Tiki-Ton Tower alone, and he battles the Tiki-Ton. After he defeats him, he gets blasted into space and almost falls to his death. His barrel jet starts malfunctioning, and then this happens.
Holy God.
So DK Island is saved, all the animals are back to normal, and he starts falling. Then Donkey Kong catches him, they adorably hug it out, and they celebrate the banana rain together with a happily ever after. This was it. This was it! My boy finally did it! He finally showed how strong he is just as much as Donkey Kong. He finally completed his true hero training goal. After all the heroic and brave things he did throughout all these years, showing how much of a useful sidekick and friend he is, and showing how strong he really is, knocking out the moon with his hard, bouncy head by accident was his strongest moment to his development. This is exactly what I wanted! My King Kong Diddy Kong has finally done it! This is what makes these two as the best of friends so epic. If these two were never friends, then I wouldn't be as happy as I am now. Their friendship is so good that even Smash Bros. Ultimate decided to make Donkey Kong fight Diddy in round 1, and then they partner up for the rest of Classic Mode. As they should. I know not everyone will agree, but this friendship will always be my favorite thing in video game history. I want them to stay as friends no matter what, and I hope their bond remains strong in the future.
Even though I still have more to say about him later, all of this from 1994 to 2025 is how Diddy Kong is the most special.
I know I've said this before, but the Kongs are the greatest team I have ever seen. And I know it makes sense to talk about all of them, but I'm only going to talk about 3 of them. Funky, Dixie, and of course, Donkey Kong.
I'm going to shine the spotlight on these 3 because they're also part of my top 5 favorite characters, and they're also the only other Kongs I love more than King K. Rool.
So let's start with Funky Kong. Funky is the definition of chill and cool, and I love that about him. From his shades, bandana, and tank top with shorts, Funky has a party type of design.
Why didn't Nintendo add Diddy Kong and Funky Kong to Jamboree? That was their type of game!
The silver dude voiced by Toshihide Tsuchiya, especially in Mario Kart Wii and Tropical Freeze, fits him perfectly. Chilling, crazy, and full of personality. He's always a supporter, and he makes inventions and weapons for all the other Kongs, which makes him a fantastic friend. He made the peanut pop gun and barrel jetpacks for Diddy. He made the gumball pop gun for Dixie, and he even made the barrel planes that the playable Kongs can use to fly. In Tropical Freeze, he gives out very helpful items that cost banana coins like balloons, con barrels, and banana juice, which I really want to drink immediately. And in the Switch version, he becomes playable. The Kon who originally hated adventures now enjoys going on them. I really enjoy that he loves to surf with his surfboard. He takes it with him to most places, especially when he surfs on waves in the ocean, and he even uses it to avoid spikes and hover over pitfalls in Tropical Freeze, which makes him very powerful too. He also rolls very fast like Donkey Kong, and I'll talk about that when I get to him. I've also heard that he's the most loved character in Mario Kart Wii, because he has amazing stats with his vehicles, and we're lucky to death that he's finally playable in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I'm proud of myself for buying the DLC with my own money. Now I can play as him and Diddy whenever I want without having to worry about the Switch eShop closing. The Y on both of them in Mario Kart World. He's very fast, he flexes his muscles, and makes handsome poses. And he, of course, surfs while doing tricks.
Now, I always play as the Kong trio way more no matter what, but when Funky Kong's playable, I'm in. He's easily top 5 material.
Dixie Kong is easily my favorite female character of all time. Her design is iconic. Pink clothing, blonde hair with a ponytail, earrings, and beautiful green anime eyes, all of which make her look very bright and pretty. I really love how her design looks very similar to Diddy, especially with her chubbier and rounder design ever since Donkey Konga 2, which makes these two as a couple look much happier together for looking the same, and that makes Dixie much cuter.
I can tell why Diddy fell in love with her.
And Kaoru Sasajima is the perfect voice for her to sound very high-pitched, young, upbeat, and ready for action. While Diddy Kong is the big gold in Diddy's conquest for his hero development, Dixie also deserves a lot of credit for helping Diddy prove Cranky how wrong he is, and she chose by her own decision to come with him to save Donkey Kong, who she never met before until after they rescued him. She also has the chance to complete the adventure by herself, and in Donkey Kong Country 3, she is the main character rescuing both Donkey and Diddy, which is another game where she can do the adventure by herself. So she saves Donkey twice. Now that's what I call best girl monkey. While I do think Donkey Kong Country 3 is very peak because of Dixie, and that's basically the only reason I'm planning to buy it when I grow up, we can all agree that it's easily the worst out of the other 4 country games. I'm also so glad she beated Cranky Kong up for not giving her credit in the end. She was the reason Cranky tried to become less mean later on. Her ponytail is a standout since she can fly with her helicopter spin, which means she can hover over dangerous obstacles, and she can also pick up Donkey Kong to fly up to high areas.
These Kongs are the strongest species alive!
She also loves to play on her electric guitar, although not for attacking. She still does it because of how much fun and energetic her personality really is. She even pretends to play guitar, which is adorable, and she immediately adores the Nintendo Switch that much. Guess I'm not the only person younger than 20 whose favorite console is the Switch.
Dixie deserves way more appearances of respect for being a very nice Kong who also never gave up on her goals, which is why Dixie is my favorite female fan ever.
And then we have Donkey Kong. If I had to choose which Mario character I would choose in a game that doesn't feature Diddy Kong, it would always be Donkey Kong.
I'm gonna be straight. Donkey Kong is the second best thing in my entire life, and that has been the case in 2011.
Donkey Kong is just so good for being my second biggest childhood hero, and I really love everything about him. His original design is really awesome for having the iconic red tie with the DK logo. That just makes him awesomely recognizable. His handsome model from his muscular body and that sick haircut and round expressive face is what makes him the second best looking. Besides Diddy, he has the best looking eyes for looking so big, spherical, and very shiny, which is part of his design. But sometimes the light actually reflects in his eyes and returns in tropical freeze, which makes his eyes also look so real. And his cute, cheeky smile in some of the renders make him more cuddly. Honestly, all of his expressions from his original design just make him the best part of any game he's in when he's alone. He's also very adorable. Mostly it's because he hangs out with Diddy, which also brings cuteness to him. But when he tries to be funny, he's very cute. And since he looks very serious, he also looks very handsome. Most of the time, his brow makes him look angry. And I really love that because that's what makes him look so serious and realistic. But since he also has that awesome haircut, his design is fire.
And what do I think of his redesign? I originally thought that it was the worst redesign in the entire franchise, but now it's in second place.
Come on, this is Donkey Kong we're talking about. It looks really cute, and I actually adore his bubbly expressions. Some of them feel like copies from his original, but the problem I still have and always will have is the reason his design was changed in the first place. Miyamoto and the people with him wanted to change his design because they want to make him look more like his movie counterpart. Now, I do think he's the second best looking in the Mario movie. I still don't get why they needed to do this. There's nothing wrong if they don't. But what is wrong gets even worse. These people specifically said that Donkey Kong's original design wasn't that expressive, and they wanted to make him more expressive for his redesign. Are you kidding me right now?
Are you people seriously telling me that he was never, ever expressive in any of the many games he appeared in?
He looked scared in Donkey Kong Country. He actually looked embarrassed in games like Mario Power Tennis and his render in Mario Party 8. He also looked sad in that same game and in Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2. And he even blushes. And his eyes stretched out a few times in Ultimate. What do you people mean he was never that expressive? Just because he always looked angry? Isn't that what Donkey's supposed to be? He always looks angry while also looking heroic because that's the point of his character? Aren't Wario, Waluigi, and Bowser always looking angry? Why doesn't anyone complain about their designs? And what about characters like Pauline and Rosalina who aren't really that expressive because they're actual human ladies? No one complained about them not being expressive. Oh wait, this is Donkey Kong we're talking about. He's just the worst Mario character ever made besides Diddy Kong, right? Seriously, I do adore his bubbly redesign. It's still the second best redesign to me. But why improve something that was already iconic? And like I said, the original designs will always be better to me for being there for me since I was 5 years old. Which means Donkey Kong's original design is peak times better in my donkey eyes.
And by the way, unpopular opinion everyone, Donkey Kong's not ugly.
He's literally a cartoon gorilla and has a big mouth. There's nothing ugly about that.
Unless we're talking about his model in the non-canonical cartoon.
Any other model in PNG render is handsome and adorable. Even his All-Star plush is the cutest, just like Diddy's All-Star plush. And Donkey Kong's voice actors are really cool. His voice in the Smash Bros. Games fit his seriousness, Seth Rogen fits his upbeat and energetic role in the Mario movie, Brent Cookhope fits his jock and sometimes calming role in games like Donkey Kong 64 and Toadstool Tour,
Koji Takeda is hilarious in Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza,
and Takashi Nagasako is the best one of them all. He's definitely the one I grew up with. Not only does Donkey sound so high-pitched when he's having fun or when he's screaming, but I'm more of a fan of him sounding high-pitched when he acts so serious and laid back sometimes, because he doesn't sound way too deep like in the older games. Takashi makes Donkey Kong sound expressive and energetic, which definitely fits his character. Donkey's biggest strength isn't just punching, it's his heart. In Donkey Kong Country, he realized that he overslept until the morning instead of waking up during midnight, and he saw that Diddy and his banana horde were gone. Donkey was very ashamed and upset at himself for letting this happen to Diddy, and it showed how much he cared for him and felt bad for what he did. He even stands up for himself and yells at Cranky to shut up for criticizing him and Diddy about adventuring. Donkey's got a very big heart to Diddy, who during the time was his #1 fan, and I'm proud of these two for going on their adventure together. And just like the other two I mentioned, Donkey can have the option to save his banana horde by himself. But what's even better is that every time when he gets his banana horde stolen or he's leading the team, he always protects his home, his belongings, and more importantly, his family. When others are in big danger, he rescues every single one of them, and throws himself into a scary and hard adventure to save his friends which are part of his family. And when he defeats bosses, he abuses the heck out of them, especially Lord Frederick, who is in my opinion the worst Mario character. You can tell how much he cares about his island. He's a protector, a guardian, and you can feel his emotions in every slam, celebration, and hug.
And don't get me started on the Mario spin-offs. He is a true champ Chad in those games.
The spin-offs are also why I think Donkey Kong is one of the most heroic characters in the franchise, and why I think he's not a villain. He finally makes other friends and enemies during these games, which explains more of his heart and comedy. He's very cartoony to the others when he wins or loses, and his animations are very relatable as well. Since he really loves winning all the time, his peak animations and energetic personality are just golden. Yes, he goes way too hard and even attacks others, but he does all that because he wants to win that badly. He cares about himself more than anyone else. Plus, he didn't break anyone's bones, luckily. He just shoved them somewhere else so he can win.
Let's also mention that all the others that he attacks are his other friends, and him doing all of this is in character for him. Since he is one of the strongest characters in the entire franchise, I definitely give him a pass.
Even though he stole the Mario toys in Mario vs. Donkey Kong, he did it because he wanted one of them so badly. But the toys were sold out, which is very relatable and unfair. In the original version, he's constantly laughed at or yelled at that he's actually crying after he gets defeated. Now that is harsh. Thank God the remake made Mario and the Toads feel in character, and the cutscenes are one of the many reasons why I love the remake a lot more. He also steals Pauline away from Mario because he's in love with her, and doesn't even do anything villainous to her after she's captured.
Honestly, he doesn't really do all these things because he's a villain. He just has trouble with his emotions, just like how I do since I am autistic.
And while I really hate it when media either rewards the bad guys or they get no punishment at all, even after all the villainous things they did, I will definitely appreciate Mario giving Donkey the toy he wanted all along in both versions of the game. While he isn't playable in most of the Mario Party games, he definitely has heroic roles. In Mario Party 5, he punches Bowser because he doesn't want him to ruin everyone's party. And in Mario Party 8, he and Bowser have land spaces. If you land on Bowser, he gives you bad luck. But if you land on Donkey Kong, he actually gives you good luck by throwing you to the star you want. Now that is very special. In the Mario movie, he had a big fan base in the Donkey Kong world. And even though he hated Mario for most of the movie, he later became a good friend of his and helped him defeat Bowser. And he even gave him and everyone else a hug. This is what I'm talking about. Also, I adore every time I see Donkey Kong and Mario working together. Their duo is top 5 material. And is Donkey really a villainous character when King K. Rool and the other enemies steal his banana horde all the time? When he was just minding his own business? He was also trying to celebrate his birthday with his family and all his goods. And Frederick just interrupts his party, blows him and the others far away, and steals his entire island for no reason.
This is basically how mistreated the cons are. Can't these cons ever get a break?
When Diddy Kong is unplayable, he's mostly my main and the one I play as first. I just really adore his comic relief and strong sides. Like when he always rolls very fast to knock out enemies or to go very fast. And him always rolling is one of my favorite aspects of him. Him being a boxer and Punch Out for the Wii, and his athletic talents in the Olympics, minigames, and sports make him more handsome. I always love that everyone feels itchy a lot, just like me. His other animations are classic, like when he's always floating in a bubble. He's either trapped rolling inside or he's curled up in a really small one because of his big size and body. Those moments are just priceless. I really love how crazy he gets when he has fun with his adventures, and I really care about him having fun with his family since they're hilarious as well. And he also plays on the DS, 3DS, and the Nintendo Switch that he owns, that he even shares it with Diddy, Dixie, and offers Cranky to it.
The fact that the con trio keep playing these consoles, especially the Switch, just shows how much these cons relate to me.
And one of my favorite things about Donkey Kong is that he punched and knocked out the moon too. I still prefer Diddy's ending for reasons I already explained, but this is still peak perfection. It makes Donkey Kong the best gorilla alive.
Now I'm sure you're asking what I think about Dashi, since he is Donkey Kong's biggest hater. And Dashi, if you're watching this, you're one of my favorite YouTubers of all time.
Your hatred towards Donkey Kong is very passable. It's way better when you always rage and scream when he's around. So yeah, even though Donkey Kong is my king, Dashi is an incredible YouTuber who deserves all the love. But I just hope that everyone can see why I adore Donkey Kong almost as much as Diddy Kong. He's helped others and cared about them. He's very hilarious in every appearance he makes. He looks handsome and adorable, and he's overall very special.
Before I wrap this part up, I just want to shout out the greatest comic I have ever read.
I'm talking about the real official Donkey Kong comic, Banana Day 24. This comic is insane in the best possible way. It starts off with everyone waking up with Diddy and Cranky noticing today's Christmas Eve. But then everyone's shivering and start noticing snow falling in the jungle, which never happens before. And remember, the jungle part of DK Island, which is where they live together, is where it doesn't snow. The entire Earth is getting colder, and 4 of the main cons decide that they're gonna fix this. So they hop on their animal buddies, ride to the airport to take the jumbo barrel, and they fly to Washington DC to meet the President of the United States and even Germany's Chancellor Helmut Kohl. Like what? Then it gets even crazier. They both notice that a UFO has been towing their planet away from the sun, which is why the whole place is getting cold. They also don't have any power. And Cranky Kong wants to go to space to talk to the aliens, and the two gave them a space shuttle from Cape Canaveral. Yeah! The Cons go to space to save their planet!
And yes, Cranky Kong fans, this is the start of when Cranky became a peak character to me. While I don't think he's better than King K. Rool, I have grown to love Cranky a lot more lately, and this comic was his best appearance.
I'm just gonna say that Cranky Kong is everything Daffy Duck should have been. If you've watched Baby Looney Tunes and the Looney Tunes show, you would all know exactly why. Also, the 4 in their astronaut suits look so good and realistic. They found the ginormous UFO, and Cranky beams the other 3 to that ship. They were very scared when they found out how ginormous the aliens were too, but Donkey and Diddy still told them what the problem is, until the aliens mistaken the Earth for a coconut. But King Diddy suggested to beam their bananas to the aliens because they taste way better, and they loved them. So because of this, the aliens took their home planet back to where it belonged, and the Cons became world famous for saving the Earth. And besides Cranky and Wrinkly, everyone has a happy Christmas Eve night that isn't cold at all, with Santa bringing them gifts for saving the planet.
I really wish I read this comic sooner, because it showed everything that makes the Cons the greatest heroes that ever existed.
They were brave enough to do this adventure. Diddy had the banana idea, which leads to the planet being saved, and the 4 were all together on this and saved both Christmas Eve and Day in the end because they didn't give up. And this was a decade before Super Mario Galaxy! No offense to Mario for saving the galaxy twice, but the fact that the Cons saved the Earth on Christmas Eve is just god tier. If someone asks me why Christmas is my favorite holiday, I'm gonna talk about this comic. I love the Cons so much because they represent something very rare in gaming, a family of heroes. Each one has their own strengths and personalities, but they all care about each other. I am so lucky that 3 of them became part of my biggest childhoods. I've always loved them when I was a kid, but pointing out all these positives just make them the greatest team family that ever walked the face of the universe. Heck, I even loved Lanky, Tiny, Wrinkly, and Chunky Kong too, and they're not even that high on my ranking list. Cranky isn't as good as my main 4, but he still gets the same rating as them. And again, he's everything Daffy Duck should have been, and Cranky actually improves. And the other 4 are the true peak of character development. They are the true soul of the universe, and that's why when people talk about who deserves more love from Nintendo, I'll always stand up for the Cons.
And before you're asking who my final favorite from the top 5 is, it's definitely Yoshi.
So if there's one final thing I need to say in this video, it's that Diddy Kong is not just my favorite character of all time. He's a symbol of everything good I remember about my life. Seriously, this kid is everything I want, everything I love, and everything I need from a character. He reminds me of my special childhood, my nostalgic dad and friends, and all the people who believed in me when others didn't. He's the one who helped me stay true to myself, and I'll always defend him no matter what, because he's my best friend. He's a big, brave hero and full of heart, and proved so much about how much of a strong hero and friend he is. He's got the best family and best friends. He's very fast and very smart. He has the best voice. He's the funniest thing alive. He has the greatest looking design, and he's the cutest thing alive. He's sometimes very emotional. He always makes games better, and he has the best character development arc I've ever seen.
Now, if your favorite Mario character is someone like Luigi, Yoshi, Koopa Troopa, or Peach after you watch this video, that's perfectly fine with me. We all have different favorites and different reasons, but the point of this video is to make Diddy Kong happy and to show the love that he definitely deserves. To give you evidence evidence about how much of a great friend I am, just like him, and to tell you all my honest opinions about something that's very personal to me. And when I just mentioned my nostalgic dad and friends, I mentioned my dad separately, and that's because I want to talk about him real quick before we finish. The dad I have right now is not the first one I had. I had my first one 20 years ago, and that's the one we're going to be talking about today. During my childhood, between the years of the era during my life that I mentioned before, he was a very kind person who had a lot of similarities with me. He really loved to meet other people and to have friends coming over to our house, and he also loved that we come to their houses too. Back then, we used to go to a lot of places, and we used to have a lot of friends. Sometimes we only went to some places once, and that's because my dad really liked meeting a lot of people who we had in common with. Another big positive I'll give him credit is that our father and son relationship is mostly similar to Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong's relationship. We both loved the same things, we were both very happy and energetic, we both looked like them, he gave me a piggyback the same way as they do, and we both love to do adventures while we're walking and hiking. We definitely had a fun relationship together, and we've always had. Even during the bad moments, we've always loved each other. But on July 7th, 2013, my dad died because of cancer. It was a very hard moment for me, a hard moment for everyone. I was crying so much because I lost him forever. The one person who supported me most of all is gone. This is why I have these two with me, because during the time my dad was around, these two were my biggest favorites more than anything, especially Diddy Kong. I even still remember Diddy Kong being my favorite after he died, like when I was playing Subspace Emissary, and these two always make me think back of how amazing my life was. Even during the last 2 years after he died, I still tried to make many great memories to be happy again, and to be very friendly to the kids I met after. He's been making my life better by giving me more friends to hang out with, to give us more happy memories, to make our lives happier, and to make me a better person in the future. I also have this lion that I got in the same year he died, and I've kept him safe in my room all along because even he makes me remember my dad. And he makes me remember the times I came to a lot of places carrying him with me. In fact, when I think about these three, I even think about all the other memories I had that aren't Mario content. Even though I'm unlucky with some of the things I didn't see during my childhood, I was incredibly lucky with most of the things I saw. Since my childhood was so amazing, this is why I love a lot of media. I give out the peak rating a lot lately, even the media that people hate, because I either enjoyed them as a kid, or they remind me of media I remember loving fondly. I'm just gonna say it, while Diddy Kong is still my favorite thing of all time in the entire universe, my dad, who used to be with me, is my favorite person I've ever met on Earth. No offense to my best friends, they are still very nice people I've met in real life and on YouTube who have always supported me for my future goals. But my childhood dad was the one who made me the happy kid I was. He was the main reason why my childhood was so memorable back then. He was the main reason why I had so much supporters, because I was being very kind and I was being myself. And Diddy Kong inspired me to do that before him, but he did the same thing, which I had no problem with. In fact, I think my love for any character would be different, which means this video wouldn't have existed. But I'm proud of my dad for all the things he did for me, especially for my favorite things that still hold me to this day. This is one of the biggest and main reasons why I keep going back and keep talking about my childhood, because my favorite person on planet Earth was there for me. He made me feel like a childhood person. Even after he died, I still got the feeling that he was still there for me. This is why I wish Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong will both get a lot more love and respect. And don't you haters tell me to let go of Diddy Kong, because he will always be there for me to be the person I wanted to be. And that's been one of the biggest reasons why I'll never let go of the Mario and Donkey Kong content I've been experiencing all these years.
Super Mario is an awesome franchise, and it's definitely many people's favorite, including mine. While the Switch 2 has a few things I like about this franchise, every other console, especially from the GameCube to the Switch era, are the best gaming. This franchise basically does whatever it wants when it comes to fiction. They originally started becoming a platformer, and now they give us more and more characters with lots of ideas just to give us everyone more to do. The spin-offs especially were the main reason I fell in love with this franchise, because for the most part, they were masters at giving us variety, and for giving us the best rosters and gameplay we've ever experienced. Most of what I see is original, which means Super Mario always has original ideas all the time, and sometimes they do things that already existed in fiction, but manage to do them a lot better. The music is some of the greatest I've ever heard, for either being very fitting to the part you're at, or for making you dance and listen to them over and over. The characters and animation are easily the best part of this franchise, because they they always look so expressive and realistic at the same time. The details, sets, and lighting are so pretty to look at. The designs have some creativity and are very colorful. The animation errors don't even bother me because of how biased I am with this animation. The squash and stretch from some of these games make me love the animation and characters even more. The world building is so ginormous, which gives us more locations to visit. Almost all of the voice actors never get annoying, even if the voice clips are reused for over 20 years. The consistent personalities from everyone make them more playable, and the idea and execution for what this franchise is going for is epic. Almost 20 of my favorite games are Mario games, and most of my favorite characters are from the Mario cast. Even the media that isn't in my top 10 of anything are still so awesome to visit. And the Mario cast has separate personalities while also having the same ones too. I adore Yoshi for being very useful and very kind. I adore Rosalina for being the best fictional parent and for having a backstory. And I adore Bowser for taking care of Bowser Jr. as well as protecting his enemies. Even the characters I hated as a kid are now characters I really love, because I gave them another chance. And just because some characters have a few small problems doesn't mean they're fully bad characters when they have loads of positives. It's fine to hate them, but you don't need to bully them on the internet for a very stupid reason. And don't attack the people who love them. I'd even call most of the cast as my friends as well. And to answer the question I said earlier, the other reason why I think Diddy Kong's character is still my favorite in the spin-offs is because of his character outside of them. Since he has his hero arc throughout the franchise, you can tell that he's trying to make friends and have some fun by doing a lot of things others love to do as well. He doesn't only want to save his best friend, he wants to be like most of the cast who are also really good at sports and challenges too. And he doesn't do it to be mean, he does it to be just as good as them.
He's also inspired me to do so many good things that led to good events. I've been eating a lot of bananas lately, which makes me very healthy. I've been telling other people not to give up. I've always been supportive towards the people I met. I've been finishing a lot of my important stuff outside of YouTube every day, and I've enjoyed a lot of things that I originally hated.
That just shows how much you really care about someone, by always defending them and to do the same things you love about them for the amazing things they did for you. And even though this video is finally released, I'll never stop talking about Diddy Kong. I'll never stop praising him for being the best of the best. He is my life for all the reasons I already explained, and I hope he gets all the love he deserves. I definitely recommend to the people who haven't heard of this character before, because he's a very important character to remember when you're having trouble with your fears. And if you've never heard of this character before, but this video introduced you to him, I hope that got you to love Diddy Kong. In fact, I love Diddy Kong so much that I'm hoping to get every game that features him. Even the games that are hated by the fan base are games I'm planning to buy. These are all the games I have that features him, and these are all the ones I'm planning to get. Plus, I know I'll love all the games Diddy Kong is in because, like I said, he makes games better. Something Super Mario Party Jamboree and Mario Kart World completely failed at. And only one of those games I actually love. But it's definitely a big treat to see Diddy and Dixie and Bonanza, since they haven't showed up in any original games for years.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope it was worth it. I'm dead serious when I said this took me almost a whole year to make, with the scripts being the hardest part. I just hope you understand why my love for Diddy Kong is very important to me, and why I'll never stop praising about him. And to anyone out there who loves something with their whole heart, don't let anyone take that away from you. Don't let the haters get you to hate something you really love your whole life, because you'll miss out on the things you love if you give up on them. To my best friends who are mentioned in the description, thank you all for being so supportive of my channel and for not letting me give up on the things I love. And thank you for sharing and being respectful to my opinions. To my childhood father, if you could see this from heaven, thank you for making my childhood so perfect, for making me have more friends in my life. You'll always be the best person I've ever met. And this video is for you, and to Diddy Kong. Thank you for being there when other people weren't. Thank you for being brave, for being loyal, for showing what real loyalty looks like. You'll always be my favorite childhood son. You'll always be my hero, and I will always defend you no matter what. You are the heart of my life.